charges!
Free Yves!
Drop the charges!
Free Yves!
Drop the charges!
I'm going to be arrested for social media posts criticizing Israel and specifically criticizing a génocidaire, Dalia Kurtz, who wants to see more Palestinian blood spilt. And after I publicized the fact that I was being charged for social media posts criticizing Israel, the police have responded by saying I'm harassing the police. So initially, I'm supposedly harassing a génocidaire for social media posts criticizing Israel. And then when I write about the fact that I'm being charged for criticizing Israel, the police are now saying they feel harassed. And a police investigator has actually brought in 4 different charges of harassment, intimidation, entrave, I guess interference, against me on the grounds that I wrote about the fact that I was being charged for social media posts criticizing Israel. And this is, I think, a pretty flagrant abuse of the state authority on behalf of those promoting Israel's crimes. This is obviously an attack against freedom of expression, but really what it is a use of the policing and legal system to target someone that opposes the Canadian government's complicity in a genocidal rampage by Israel that's left at least 100,000 people dead, killed in Gaza, destroyed most buildings, destroyed most agricultural land. Even if Israel just stopped tomorrow, people will be dying for years and years because of all the unexploded ordnance, because of all the chemical pollutants, the asbestos, all the other things that they've released into the toxic environment that is Gaza. And of course, we know that the Israeli government is actually trying to restart its ethnic cleansing and genocide campaign. So it's an absolute outrage that the Montreal police would put the powers of the state at the service of those who are doing everything they can to enable Israel to kill more and more and more Palestinians. So today, from what I understand, I'm going to go in there. They're going to try to put some conditions. They haven't made it clear what the conditions are. Initially, the initial condition was that I don't talk about the case. So I don't talk about the fact that I'm being charged for social media posts criticizing Israel. We'll see if they try to continue with that. We actually have a legal judgment, very clearly legal judgment, saying that's absolutely unconstitutional. Whether the police continue with that, I don't know at this point. The police officer yesterday told me they would detain me until I see a judge. He said it would be overnight. I've heard conflicting things on that. It might be 6 hours. It might be till tomorrow morning. Obviously, any minute of time that myself, all of you that are here to come down, thanks a lot for coming down. All this time is sucking resources away from the work we have to do to stop the Canadian government from enabling Israel's crimes. And this is what the Canadian government and Zionist forces across the country have been doing. They've been using the police system, they've used the legal system to basically suck up the resources of a grassroots popular uprising against the Canadian government's complicity in Israel's Holocaust. So it's a real shame on the Montreal police to have joined in this. I don't believe any of these charges will. I believe that the Crown will ultimately just drop the charges, and certainly if it came before a judge, the judge will just drop it. It's a joke. I'm a father of a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. I've written 13 books. I'm not a threat to Dalia Kurtz. I've never met Dalia Kurtz. I've never talked to Dalia Kurtz. I've never messaged Dalia Kurtz. The police officer told me Dalia Kurtz lives in Toronto. I mean, it's a comedy. But this is what the police investigators have decided to move forward with. And I think the context of them moving forward with it is this onslaught of Zionist groups claiming that, Jewish Canadians are under threat. It's a danger. The mob, the pro-Palestinian mob, the deport them all, like Dalia Kurtz goes on and on. This anti-Palestinian racism, this Islamophobia that is being pushed all over. This is the context of which the Montreal police investigator responds by following through on Dalia Kurtz. And I should also say that Dalia Kurtz, as the investigator told me initially, the initial investigator, that it's a legal firm. So she didn't bring it or just charged for it herself. It was a legal firm, and apparently it's the law firm of Neil Oberman, who's been launching injunctions against Palestine groups for months now, many against McGill. The encampment at McGill is the most well-known one. And so it's him that prepared this case. It goes back like 5 months, according to the police investigator. I don't know why they decided to move 2 days ago on this, but it's a coordinated attack. So it's a threat to freedom of expression, and most importantly, it's a threat to those who don't want our government to enable, to support, to assist, to finance, to arm Israel's genocidal onslaught against Palestinians in Gaza and West Bank and more generally. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
How did they explain the second round of charges?
I got a call at noon yesterday from a different enquêteur. So the first enquêteur that called me 10 a.m. on the Tuesday, she's the one that told me the story of Dalia Kurtz. And my initial reaction was to like argue the case and be like, "Are you kidding me? This is a farce or whatever." So initial reaction was to that. And so then I called the enquêteur to say I couldn't make it at 10:30, which was supposed to be yesterday. That we had to, there was some flexibility on exactly when I'd come in. So I called to say I couldn't make it at 10:30, wanted to reschedule, and then my lawyer John Philpott called, and she didn't want to talk at all. And so basically, she was really angry that she got more than 2,500 emails saying to drop the charges and to not try these absurd conditions that I can't talk about the case. And then I get a call from this other enquêteur basically saying that he's now in charge of the case because this other person is claiming that they feel threatened by the fact that I wrote an article about what she told me, what the charges against me, and that she felt threatened because there was lots of emails coming into her police inbox. I didn't even know her first name, so he says that now I'm being charged with harassment, intimidating harassment, entrave, and there's a fourth charge that is all vis-a-vis this police officer, which I had about a 15-minute conversation with, that I don't know her first name, that called me, that it's like the idea that they try to bring, and apparently this is a standard procedure. I got an email from a lawyer who's representing a bunch of activists who's saying this is standard effort, Crown and police effort, to bring in this condition of you can't talk about the case. And so this other lawyer sent me an email yesterday giving me the case law showing that this has been thrown out. This is unconstitutional. But apparently they keep trying to push this. And so, why do they push that? Why do they want me not to be able to talk about the fact they're charging me for social media posts about criticizing Israel? I think the reason they don't want me to talk about it is that it's embarrassing to the police. It's embarrassing to Dalia Kurtz. It's embarrassing to the legal firm of Neil Oberman, the conservative candidate, who is apparently the one who launched the case on behalf of Kurtz. But we have freedom of expression. Our courts are public arenas. This is well established stuff. But it's easy for the police, right? People, they go in there, they don't, they're detained. They'll sign any condition, right? I just want to get out. I don't want to spend the next 24 hours in here. I don't want to go before a judge. I'm scared. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm whatever. And so people sign conditions, and that's wrong. And it's obviously an abuse of police and state authority to bring in those types of conditions. But yeah, so this enquêteur, Porticino, I think is his name, who I'm supposed to meet here in a bit. He just called and said that he didn't even laugh. He acted like it was serious, that I was actually a threat to this police officer because I wrote about the fact that I was being charged for criticizing Israel on social media.
Just one little thing on this. To make this thing also bizarre with this Dahlia Kurtz stuff is that she, like 6 months ago, she announces that she doesn't. She said she makes this post, this declaration. She quote tweets me an X saying she doesn't want me to interact with her anymore. Don't post to me. I feel threatened or some variation of that. And she stopped now. I'm presuming at that point this was a language that she was given by her legal counsel. But she never blocks me. Okay, so there's a mechanism on X, on Twitter. If you don't want somebody who to post on your stuff, you can just block them. I don't follow Dahlia Kurtz. She appears in my feed, and when she says outrageously anti-Palestinian things, I respond.
Yeah.
That's what X is about.
But what do you make of the fact that she's trying to raise money by sort of portraying herself as a victim online and asking explicitly for donations because she is supposedly threatened?
Yeah, I mean, that would speak to motive. I received an email from a different lawyer. Said he wants to look into how he can pursue her. And I think that the fact that she's like trying to monetize or fundraise off her being the victim kind of thing would maybe strengthen that case. What happens here? It's all one-sided, right? There's these well-organized, well-financed pro-genocide forces that have legal and whatever resources to pursue activists, to pressure the police system, to target those criticizing Israel. And our side is we're grassroots. We don't have big funders or prominent legal firms that are doing this either pro bono or maybe because they're being paid. I don't know. So yeah, we need to obviously counter that and go on the offensive because we've got a big picture. Israel is slaughtering and slaughtering. And so even when there's a ceasefire agreement, they're not even following the most minimal of the conditions about letting tents in. For God's sake, people sleeping in tents in the wintertime. I mean, it's just totally outrageous. The police. I mean, the reality is, if we had a minimally functioning political system, the police would be investigating all these former Israeli soldiers, these Canadians who fought in Gaza. When they come back, they'd be investigating for our. We have laws on the books about war crimes, right? Those have been pursued. The police should be investigating Canadians fighting in killing in Gaza, committing war crimes. If we live in a minimally functioning system, the police would be investigating whether the Canadian government's defying the arms trade treaty and our own domestic laws in allowing weapons to be sent to Israel. They'd be investigating that. They'd be investigating all these registered charities that are violating CRA rules in supporting the Israeli military, in supporting West Bank settlement organizations, and supporting racist organizations in Israel. That's what we'd have in a minimally just world. Instead, we have the SPVM putting their services at the service of those promoting the horrors and the crimes of the Israeli state.
Do you have any plans to bring a civil suit against either the cops or Dahlia Kurtz or anyone else involved in this?
That has been brought up. That is something to look into. The first phase, of course, is to get this all out of the way and then go there. And like I said, a lawyer did contact me. Said he wants to look into how to pursue Dahlia Kurtz for her frivolous her harassment. I mean, this is harassment. She's using me as harassment, but it's her harassing me is the reality of it. I don't know enough about the law to know whether that's a realistic scenario or whatnot. But I certainly want to go on the offensive because this is all again at the service of a Holocaust in us and those in Canada supporting these crimes by the Israeli state against Palestinians.
Well, what do you think of the fact that it's a law firm that's pressuring the police into doing this? Usually, it's people go and complain to the police and they take action. The fact that she had to get a legal firm involved to presumably apply some pressure to the police to act. Are the police under pressure from that?
The enquêteur Rivelo, the first enquêteur, made that explicitly clear. She said, I have this dossier from this law firm and framed it as a sort of important law firm. And because I was like, are you kidding me? This is a joke. She hasn't even blocked me on Twitter. I got a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. I'm a threat to her. What do you? I don't know her. I've never met her. And the police enquêteur definitely acted or spoke, implied, strongly that the fact that this was coming from this sort of like quote unquote credible legal firm, that was pressing her to take action and to, I guess from her mind, just like move the case along. I get the dossier in front of me, I look into it a little bit, I don't know if it's true or not, I mean, I'm just gonna move it to the Crown. I don't know if that's the thinking that the police agent is doing when they make that totally odious decision. But yeah, definitely the fact that it was a legal firm. I think there's basically zero chance that if it was Dalia Kurtz that went herself and did this, that the police would take this serious enough to charge me.
Right. You brought up harassment, and you suggested that you're being harassed. So, would you consider this, like what's happening now in terms of what the SPDM is doing, to be a police harassment?
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Right, and would further beyond that, the Crown getting involved, the courts getting involved, would be considered to be judicial harassment?
For sure. Yes, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the police officer, by the fact that I publicized their charging me for social media posts about Israel, the fact that they respond to that by bringing 4 more charges. I mean, what else is that but police harassment? It's flagrant. I mean, police officer didn't even seem to, try to deny that, really. I mean, everyone knows that. That's clear what they're doing. They were angry that there was pushback to their ridiculous charges against me for criticizing Israel, and they're going to double down on it. So it's clear police harassment. And every moment that the Crown doesn't throw the charges out is further, that if it's judicial harassment, is further state harassment, for sure.
Free Yves! Drop the charges!
Free Yves!
Drop the charges! Free Yves! Drop the charges! Free Yves! Drop the charges! Free Yves! Drop the charges!
Free Yves!
Drop the charges!
Free Yves!
Drop the charges!
Free Yves!
Drop the charges!
Free Yves!
Drop the charges! Free Yves! Drop the charges! Free Yves!
Thanks everyone. Moi je vais rentrer maintenant et merci tout le monde. J'espère d'être libéré à la fin de journée aujourd'hui, mais peut-être ça va demain matin. Mais merci tout le monde pour avoir venu. Puis free Palestine.
Free Palestine! 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 Free
Palestine.
Free Palestine! 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 Free Palestine!
Free
Palestine!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine! Palestine is almost free!
From the
Court
river
appearance.
to the
Oh, yeah.
Palestine is almost free!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
So!
Solidarité avec la Palestine!
So. Solidarité avec la Palestine. So. Solidarité avec la Palestine.
This is a state intimidation. We're just 20 peaceful protests supporting a journalist, and we have 6 threatening police. This is ridiculous. People, where